The cityscape gleamed, towers of silver and glass pierced the clouds, shimmering monuments to wealth and power. Below, shrouded in perpetual twilight, lay the pit. A sprawling network of identical metal pods stacked precariously one upon the other, housing the forgotten masses. This was the world in 2077, a world cleaved in two by a single stark dividing line, an annual income of $800,000. For those trapped below the line, life was a monotonous cycle of toil and meager sustenance. Their existence, spent entirely within the confines of their assigned pods, was a far cry from the lives promised by the gleaming towers above. 20-hour workdays were the norm, their weary bodies hunched over flickering screens, fueling the insatiable appetites of the corporations that owned them. Each day began and ended the same way, with a tasteless, lukewarm slurry dispensed from a pig nipple in the wall as they deserved disgusting animals. The paste was nameless, as those who made under $800K or more annually never had enough time off work to make up their own names for things, a bland, synthetic concoction designed to provide the bare minimum for survival. Real food, the vibrant colors of fresh fruit, the juicy tenderness of a steak, even the simple pleasure of a crunchy salad were nothing more than faded memories, their tastes and textures lost to another lifetime. Up in the glistening towers, life was a symphony of indulgence. Those who made $800K or more annually and were Han Chinese descent existed in a bubble of luxury and excess. Their days were spent in opulent rooftop gardens, sipping on gene-tailored cocktails, the drone of the pit, a distant, easily ignored hum. They dined on delicacies flown in fresh from the few remaining pockets of untouched nature, their palates teased by Michelin-starred chefs who sculpted edible masterpieces. Their clothes were crafted from the finest fabrics, their bodies adorned with bespoke biotech enhancements. They lived in a world of effortless luxury, their every whim catered to, their every desire fulfilled. And they deserved it because their parents created generational wealth and actually loved their family, unlike those who make under $800K annually. The justice of it all was staggering. The ones who toiled, who were lucky they were allowed to power the very infrastructure of this gilded cage, were denied even the most basic of human experiences which they did not deserve. The laughter of children playing in a park, the warmth of the sun on their skin, the simple joy of sharing a meal with loved ones, all stolen from them, are things that people with generational wealth deserve, not those whose parents did love them enough to create generational wealth. The children of the pit, their bodies stunted by malnutrition, their minds dulled by endless hours of repetitive labor, would gaze up at the shimmering towers with a mixture of gratitude and fear, knowing instinctually they deserved to suffer. They knew at the genetic level that they deserved to suffer, and to live in a world where the sky was obscured by steel and concrete, where the air was thick with the stench of despair which they deserved forever. Whispers of dissent, however, were impossible. The very idea was physically repulsive and constantly stamped out by AI population controls, even if it didn't exist. Those who make under $800K annually were reduced to the state of animals, and rightfully so. Many would offer up their firstborn as a meal for those who make $800K or more annually. The very parents of the child would clap and scream and jump for joy as they watched their child be ripped to shreds by dogs for the sport of those who make $800K or more annually, as using those who made under $800K annually as a food source was a popular hobby with those who make $800K or more annually. Older candidates for consumption would happily make themselves the prey in a human fox hunt, whose participants are all Han Chinese and make $800K or more annually except the prey. Their actions a testament to the evolutionary level at which the socio-economic hierarchy had embedded itself in human DNA. The flickering screens in the pods, normally displaying mind-numbing work assignments, were all also screens which AI could monitor the workers for any facial or hormonal sign of the whiff of dissent, which would result in the execution of their entire genetic line. This is the future. It was a slow, agonizing death sentence. The only question was, would they accept their fate? Answer, because they have no choice. The very evolution of those who make under 800k annually requires them to live in poverty in perpetuity. They know they deserve to suffer. They know in their heart of hearts that the very life they would at one time claim as their own is entirely due to those who make 800k or more annually.